Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We have to live in meditation rather than doing meditation for half an hour and thereafter suffering for the rest of the day in frustration. So, how we lead our whole day, that determines what quality of experience we will have when we sit quiet with ourselves. Therefore, the first step to be very clear about meditation is, till such time we are identified with the body, this samsara will continue. Nobody can help you in the world. You will have problems of the body, you will have problems of possessions, you will have problems of relations, and nobody can help. And this we all know. That is the reason why we go to sleep. Because going to sleep is nothing but disidentification from the body. And the moment this happens, all problems get dissolved. There is no problem. Therefore, when we are thinking of meditation, don't go on imagining something will happen. Meditation is a process of undoing and unbecoming. If we keep on doing something, we are adding problems to our life. Like, we want to do meditation. And the more you want to do, more you will suffer. Because if you learn from your experiences, like, till such time we struggle that I want to go to sleep. I want to go to sleep. Till such time your I and want is, till then the sleep will not begin. So when you lie down on the bed and this I who wanted to sleep and the efforts put for going to sleep, till such time these things are there, sleep will not begin. But when the I disappears and the want disappears, the sleep begins even in satsang. That is why those people who sleep in satsang, I like them the most. Because they have attained everything. Tyage naike amritatva manashu, Upanishad says, by renunciation alone the truth is realized. Therefore, this body identification, yesterday we have seen through the process of asana. Today we go a little deeper and learn two things. One is separation from the body, and second is assertion as to what we are then. These two things we'll try to get it. First, let us understand our body or our personality. You are doctors, you know better than me, but I'll tell you in a different way. You know, like this psychiatrist. There was one American lady, she came to India and she heard me on some platform. So she said, I want to take your interview, but I am in a hurry, I will call you from USA. I said, okay, call me. She called me here day, there night. I said, I don't speak at night. Good night. Next day she called, when it was day there. I want to know something about the mind according to your Eastern approach, Oriental approach, yoga approach. I said, look here, I'll tell you in one line, no discussion, no argument. we do not talk about the unhealthy condition of the mind. Psychiatrists, people talk only about the unhealthy condition of the mind. We talk about the possible potentialities which are dormant in every mind, which can be invoked to the infinite status. That is what we talk. Not frustration, depression, no, that we don't talk about. So, what is this personality of ours? The house where we live, that house is called as Annamaya Kosh or the gross body. The power which is required for running of this house is called as Pranamaya Kosha, energy. The means of communication, how do we communicate with the world? Those means of communication are called as the sense organs and the mind. Now who is living in this house? There the Vijnanamaya Kosha, I, is living in the house. And where does he rest? He rests in the Anandamaya Kosha. So these are the 5 things. That's why the 5 fingers. The world is called technically as Prapancha. Prapancha. Pancha means 5. Prapancha means a mathematics of 5. There are 5 great elements, there are 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action, 5 objects, 5 pranas, 5 upapranas, 5. And this word pachi, vistare, also explains that vistara, expansion. So this samsara is nothing but expansion of the 5. Meditation is correct yourself and come back to the source. So, I is the small finger, Annamaya Kosha, body. Pranamaya Kosha is this wedding ring finger. Here the prana becomes miserable after marriage. Then the big finger, middle finger, is the Manomaya Kosha, the most prominent aspect of our personality. Then who is this? This is I. This is technically called a Tarjani or the index finger. Therefore, whenever this I is asserting, we use this finger. I told you 10 times. We don't say, I told you 10 times. They will say, okay, go ahead and come. See? Vijnanamaya Kosha. And this is Anandamaya Kosha. Be attentive. Meditation is done by the I, Vijnanamaya Kosha. And what is that? Till such time this I is identified with the mind, he will be joyful, sorrowful. When I is identified with the Pranamaya Kosha, he will be hungry and thirsty. When his I is identified with the body, he will be man, woman, young, old, beautiful, awful. So, our personality is I identified with the 3, and happiness, Anandamaya Kosha, is far away. Meditation is, this I is separated from the 3 and surrendered in the Ananda. This is called as that Jnana Mudra or Chinmaya Mudra. It is not for taking the snuff. Okay, take. No, it is not Snuffa Mudra. So this I has to be worked upon. And therefore the first step is we separate this I from the gross body. Now how this is coming together? So this Annamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha, they are held together by Pranamaya Kosha. Now take an example. If you take, let us take stamp which we fix on the envelope. Earlier days when the snail mail was the only mail, we used to take the stamp in India, I don't know here, and first we used to test it, how it is. And then put it on the envelope and firmly fix it. And afterwards you come to know, oh God, it is a wrong envelope I have pasted. Now if you want to forcibly remove, that stamp will be torn and gone. So what we do, we put it in the waters, give a jala samadhi. Because of that, the glue which was holding the stamp and the envelope together, the glue is weakened or dissolved, and you can peel off without destroying the stamp. If this is understood, in the same manner, the body and the mind, they are held together by the pranamaya kosha. So the purpose of the pranayam is to weaken the additions between the mind and the body. That is the purpose. See, friends. So, if we have to do that, what is to be done? Therefore, we are told, you must know what happens inside when we breathe or we don't breathe. Normally, we do not breathe deep. And therefore, the gaseous toxins keep on accumulating in the blood. Because so much we keep on eating, like last night. Dabav. And then it comes up to the nose. And then you say, today I have taken little more. Every day we see the same thing. And that poor stomach gets disgusted. So, part of the food goes in the formation of the tissues, part of it goes for giving energy to the body and mind, and the unwanted part of the digested, metabolized food is thrown out of the body, and matter is again of three types, either solids or liquids or gaseous. The solids go through the fecal material, liquids go through the urination, but the gaseous toxins, they keep on accumulating in our bloodstream. Be very attentive, it's a very subtle point. I know you are all doctors, but what I am telling is from Yoga Shastra. So these gaseous toxins keep on accumulating in the blood, and the blood becomes saturated. Thereafter, the additional toxins, they come in the joints, because there is some space there, little space. They come over there. And these toxins are responsible for either eating the heads of the bone or the cartilaginous disc if it is there, and dehydration of the synovial fluid. And therefore, when age becomes old, pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. Now, where from that pain comes? Because of this is one point. Second point, these toxins act as stimulus for the mind. And therefore, although we don't want any thoughts, the mind starts vomiting thoughts incessantly. Because these toxins are acting as a stimulus to the mind. And therefore, when pranayama is done, these gaseous toxins are slowly expelled from the body. See, when we break our joints, nothing is broken. Then what is that sound? See, those tensions which are developed in these joints, it is really tight. And therefore, when you do that, you feel relieved. So imagine so much of toxins inside our bloodstream, and they are constantly disturbing. Therefore, even in the sleep we get the dreams, only on account of that. See, friends, like we have to go at least twice or thrice a day to the toilet, we have to go for urination 2-3 times a day to remove the unwanted stuff. Exactly the same way, we have to do this deep breathing pranayam at least twice a day, 10 minutes or so. Then only all the toxins will go away and you will see you will be always at peace. You see, many people are so much agitated. They just can't keep cool. The reason is not they are not at fault. It is something like once you are sitting over here, imagine there is a very small hard material below you, below your base, maybe some small stone or something. Initially, because of your biological buffer, you will not feel it. After some time, your own weight will keep on hitting it so much that a small little thing is enough to disturb us. Exactly in the same way, these toxins have to be removed from the body. And when this is practiced slowly, the hold of the mind on the body becomes loose. Be attentive. As a result, the mind is no more thinking in relation to the body. Like, if I have something in my hand, holding it, and I had to write also something, without giving it up, somebody may take it away. So, our writing will be influenced by our hold on this object. Exactly the same way. Till such time, our mind is identified with the body, the mind will think only in relation to the body. Therefore, my house, my children, my country, my religion, my friends, my enemies, all thoughts are in relation to the body. Therefore, unless we get rid of this body identification, meditation is only a torture. Why I am giving this introduction is only because you must get the hang of it. It is very important. After this is done, then you will see, without much efforts, your mind will be attentive, your mind will, like the ice cube dissolving in the waters without making a noise. Slowly, your mind will dissolve in the consciousness. Be attentive. Mind will not go to sleep. When the mind goes to sleep, it is going to Prakriti, not Chaitanya. Very hairline difference between depression and dispassion. Similarly, sleep and Samadhi. When the mind goes back to Prakriti, as in deep sleep, that is not meditation. But when the mind dissolves in the pure consciousness, that is living in meditation. And therefore, the pranayam is practiced, and there the mind dissolves, and then because there is no reference for the mind, the individual mind disappears and it ends in the total mind. See, friends, pure consciousness and mind, both are knowledge. Mind is that knowledge where there is I versus you valid. Consciousness is that knowledge where I versus you doesn't exist. See, friends, because there is no I versus you, there is no chattering. There are no discussions. There are no arguments. There is no thinking. It is only I without you, he, she, it. Abiding in that experience effortlessly, in and through all our day-to-day activities, is living in meditation. See, friends. Therefore, a person who is practicing this, he or she alone can be contemplative. Then these problems will not come. Whenever I sit for meditation, whenever I do japa, all kinds of thoughts come. This problem will not come. Because now the mind is separated from the body. There is no reference point for the body. Therefore, we have to practice this every day, at least 5 to 10 times, morning, evening. Now, the process of pranayama. There are many things you all must be doing it. The essence is, we have to do deep breathing, extremely slow and extremely deep. So when we do that, as if churning of our lungs and the complete prana in the body happens. And when this is done, slowly all the toxins are thrown out of our system through breathing. When we talk about gaseous toxins, we don't talk about the gases, but gaseous toxins are saturated in the blood. So when all of them come out or to a great extent, you will clearly experience a state of relaxed presence. And the relaxation is like if I am holding anything, even for a very light, for a long period of time, our hand starts giving pain. So what we like to do? We like to give it up. Oh, okay, leave it. Like you must be doing, ladies, carry the huge hold all, what they call as purse. So wherever they go, first thing is to unload it. In the same manner, our mind is holding on to the body, the mind is tired, therefore sleep is nothing but giving up the shape of the body by the mind, and that time the mind merges in the total mind. In deep sleep there is only one mind, not many minds. Be attentive. This one mind is common for all of us. When the same mind takes the shape of the body, that creates a personality. Like gold is common for all the ornaments, but the name and the form and the utility of the gold, that creates the differences. So, my digestion, your digestion, my problems, your problems, my anger, your anger, my need, your need, my hunger, your hunger, is common, is not different. That is a common one mind. But out of the same mind, when the same mind takes the shape of the particular body, holding on to that, individuality is created. Therefore, when we come out of the deep sleep, we are so relaxed and fresh, because till last 3, 4, 5 hours, our mind was no more holding on to the particular body shape. It was relaxed. Such a relaxed, non-sleepy mind is able to comprehend what is the meaning of being absolute conscious blissful existence. You will bypass the soul and come to discover the absolute that we are. Therefore, when we are doing this pranayama, what is needed is deep breathing. Do you all do this Anulom Vilom pranayama? Yes or no? So if you are doing Anulom Vilom pranayama, that is better. If you are not doing that, then you can do deep breathing, but very slow. So in that deep breathing, what can be done? First of all, squeeze your diaphragm inside upward. That will press your lungs and breathe out totally. Thereafter, breathe in slowly, fill in the stomach, the lower lobes of the lungs, and then Fill in the chest, the upper lobes fully. Don't hold it inside or outside. Then slowly breathe out first from the chest, then from the stomach by squeezing it upward and inward. When this is practiced, maybe about 30-40 times, your whole system will get sufficiently clean. And thereafter, what happens, we will see ourselves. So like yesterday, you were sitting, first psychological adjustments, sit in such a manner that the weight of your body lands on the pin bones, the sitting bones. Your hands are in your lap. We are cheerful and happy. We are here by our own choice. Nobody has compelled us. In our heart is our beloved Lord and the Guru Maharaj. The Lord protects us from within, Guru guides us from within. At this moment, we are Mr. Nobody. Thereby, what we mean is, we have dropped our total past. Somebody is the one who is carrying the burden of the past. So nobody doesn't have the past. Then we don't plan what we will do after meditation. By this we block the future. Present without the past and the future is presence. Now at this stage, slowly start breathing deep, and one point if you keep in mind, the time required for breathing in and breathing out may be approximately equal. That will create a perfect balance, and slowly the mind will give up its hold on the body. So do this deep breathing till I tell you the next step, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Now you may breathe normally. At this stage, the second type of pranayam is do not concentrate but just remain aware that breathing is happening. Earlier, pranayam was done. There, somebody was born. Now, breathing is not done, it is happening. Second thing, breathing always happens in the present. So we simply remain aware that breathing is happening. And do not miss a single breathing. At this stage, although we remain aware of breathing, the mind with its old habits starts spinning thoughts. When we don't take care of these thoughts generate momentum of thinking. And we are carried away by that momentum of thought process. Hence, to arrest this momentum development and also to protect the mind entering sleep, the great masters tell us, at this stage, chant Lord's name. Instead of taking a long mantra, take small name of the Lord and synchronize it with your breathing. For example, when breathe in Hari, breathe out Om. So now you are aware that breathing is the Kriya Shakti and chanting is the Jnana Shakti. Now they are in synchronization. This ultimately leads to integration and self-confidence. So breathe in Hari, breathe out Om. We must not miss a single breathing. Now you can observe your body has become firm and steady. The weight of your body has increased on the base because the mind has, to a great extent, dropped the shape and the size of the body. Hence it is released. Now this mind is engaged in playing meditation. What it is like being other than the body, so other than the body is the space, which doesn't have beginning, modification, end, which doesn't have shape, size. So let us play space, space. You will see that your mind is giving up the shape and the size of the body, because now it is merging in the infinite, formless, unchanging space. Mind cannot survive without form and words. Hence, we engage the mind in playing space, space. So what is the meaning of playing space, space? Space supports all the shapes and the forms, but doesn't get influenced by any one of them. Similarly, we will not be influenced by the contents of this world. This chanting will automatically stop. And the mind may resume its talking with itself. So this time, take a firm decision, no more talking to oneself. By God's grace, the process of thinking, unwanted chattering dies away. But the sleep does not begin. This is merging of the mind in consciousness. This merging does not leave I, and ultimately there is experience of being without becoming anything or anyone. In this experience, experiencer is not born. thoughts will come. Do not fight with the mind or the thoughts. Know clearly, like the gross objects cannot influence the gross space, in the same manner, thoughts cannot influence the mind space. Take your position with the mind space, not with the thoughts. Thus remain completely indifferent. Let any thought come and go, who cares? This remaining indifferent to the thoughts ultimately drops all the thought formation and thought-free mind is pure consciousness. This consciousness neither has the I nor the not I. Like there is only one space for all objects, similarly, there is only one mind for the total world. When ultimately the thought process halts, sleep is not possible because sleep is also a thought. We bypass the Prakriti and come back to our divine conscious blissful being. In this process, we have bypassed the ego, the jiva, the soul, Ishvara, the controller. You may thus spend on a regular basis, preferably the same time, the same place. So the mind starts cooperating easily. Now take little deep breathing slowly in 3-4 times. Now see, the mind has included the body. Move the toes and the fingers. Now our concept that I am inside the body, the world is outside, has become real. Know this process. This also happens when we go to sleep and when we come out of the sleep. Going to sleep and coming out is exactly like that of the samadhi. The only difference is, in sleep we end up in the matter. In this meditation we merge in the consciousness. Process is the same. Offer everything at the feet of the Lord. Become totally empty. Don't go with any impressions on the mind. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.